Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what side of the world you're in. I'm HalfLifeSistah, and this is my hubby Wolf Kane.
What's up, everybody?
And welcome to another episode of Sistah and Wolf Reaction.
This is on me, but I kind of screwed up when we started this channel, man. I wanted you to take like my journey in a kind of a sort of way.
I know you did, yeah.
And from the jump, we should have done what we're gonna do today, which is Master of Puppets.
I know.
It's the thing that made me a metalhead, you know.
I understand, yeah.
And the reason I feel like we should have did it from the jump is because while Master of Puppets is an amazing song, I'm not going to say it doesn't hold up. It's still a great song.
Right.
But when you hear all the other metal and everything and you start to get desensitized to metal, it doesn't have the same impact as if you heard it from the very first time.
Gotcha.
So you know Master of Puppets is their third album, right?
I know now. Oh,
I mentioned it before,
yeah.
but you know you've got their demo disc, which was No Life Till Leather.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Which ultimately became Kill 'Em All, which was a lot of the stuff they were doing when they were touring and as a garage band, and on their demo disc they put on Kill 'Em All, so it was a very punky, rough kind of sound.
Right.
And then they made Ride the Lightning, which was their second album, and then they made Master of Puppets.
Okay.
Now, Master of Puppets is a big deal because it was the first thrash album to go platinum. Okay,
I remember you telling me that. Okay.
It's why Metallica is number one on the Big Four.
Gotcha.
Remember we
Is
talked.
that one album, maybe?
Well, you're right, but you have to understand that's the one that broke through. That's the one that put thrash on the map.
I understand.
That year, there was a ton of great albums that came out by Slayer, by Megadeth, by Exodus, that was like not just that year. I'm talking about like in that time period.
Yeah, I understand.
It was like a golden age of amazing, like everyone was making their signature albums. So it's very significant. So it's always why Metallica is always going to be number one, regardless of what you think they did afterwards, whatever you think of them as a band or as a people, whatever you think of Lars,
you know?
they
set the
are
tone.
number one, period.
Yeah, I got it, yeah.
On the Big Four, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax, right? There's always an argument on who's number two. Slayer or Megadeth, right? Who's number two, who's number three? Everyone's going to have their opinion based on which band they like. I didn't actually check the sales to know who, like, sales-wise is the winner. That should technically be the winner, but...
Yeah, well, that's what I spoke about this on my stream, I think. I'm like, yeah, that should be the...
Yeah. And no one should argue that Anthrax is number four. People can argue Exodus should be number four, or Testament. But what I mean is, like, there's no argument that the first three are definitely Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer. There's no arguments there.
Okay.
But this is the song that made me a metalhead. Back in the day, I used to listen to rap.
I know.
You know, and I still like the old school rap. Not a fan of the new school rap. But back in the day, I used to listen to rap, and I became friends with a guy named Dave the Wave. You love his name, Dave the Wave. He was a surfer, of course. And it was in 6th grade. The heaviest thing I've heard up until that point was Ozzy's Bark at the Moon.
Okay.
So I want you to erase everything you've heard up until this point.
Really?
You can keep Pink Floyd, because Pink Floyd was there way before Metallica ever was.
Okay.
And you can keep, Ozzy. So
I don't really know Ozzy's stuff.
Well, you know the person.
I
you
know
his
him, yes,
voice.
I do.
I know.
I watched his reality show.
Yeah, if I ask you to give me a song, I know you couldn't give me a single one. But you know his voice. You know that uniqueness of his voice.
Yeah, I know.
He brings his Walkman into 6th period.
Okay.
I mean 6th grade. Excuse me, we didn't have periods. 6th grade with my teacher that I hated more than anything in the world. She was my nemesis. Got into so much trouble with her. We're sitting in the back of the class. He brings his Walkman. He has Master of Puppets. We're about to hear it for the first time.
Age?
Yeah. We're about to hear this for the first time.
That's
so
insane.
we each share a headphone, right? An earbud like this, right? And we're in the back of class on the down low. Teacher trying to teach, and we start playing the Master of Puppets album.
Okay.
The first song on the album is Battery. Okay?
People talk about Battery.
We talk a lot about Metallica and Megadeth on this channel, so we're not going to do too much of the history or anything like that now because we've already done that in depth.
Right.
As a matter of fact, the Paradise Lost reaction we just did, we talked a lot about Megadeth Metallica because Stacy was kind enough to give us a Big Four DVD, a Dave Mustaine
Oh my goodness.
autobiography.
Autobiography.
And an autobiography of the documentary that Metallica did, Some Kind of Monster. So she gave us all this, so we were talking a lot about Metallica and Megadeth in that video. So if you want to go check that out, go ahead. But for this, I just want to say that we put the headphones in, And this is what I want to recreate for you today. I just want to be sitting in sixth period with you right now.
Okay.
I want you to forget all the music, forget the night wish, forget the death, forget everything that you've heard up until this point.
Though. It's going to be difficult.
And just imagine you're hearing this for the first time.
Okay, love. All right.
And you don't know metal. Okay?
Right. Okay.
Ozzy Osbourne, while technically was metal, it could also be a little hard rockish. It was still coming up.
I think he's hard rock.
No, he's also metal. He's
Really?
whatever he wants to be. Ozzy is Ozzy. He's a man all his own. But so I just want you to imagine this in the context of not ever hearing anything else and just virgin ears. And that's what sucks is I should have, when you had virgin ears is when I should have done this. I'm a little annoyed with myself. But so it's going to go from Battery, but we're not going to stop. It's going to go from Battery directly into Master of Puppets because I want you to experience the transition that I went through.
Gotcha.
And I shit you not. I mean, the moment Master of Puppets came in, me and Dave just looked at each other.
Like, what the heck?
And that was the moment. One other thing I want to point out is that Cliff was on this album. This was Cliff's last album before he died.
Oh, God.
Jason Newsted, which is the guy on the right in the... He's the one who replaced him. He was from a band called Flotsam and Jetsam, and he came and replaced Cliff's shoes. So on the tour for Master of Puppets, it was James because he actually died while they were touring. So that's could be why Jason never got the respect from the band that he deserved, because he, imagine you create this album with your brother. Your brother dies, and now you see someone in his shoes playing the music that he's supposed to be playing.
Wow.
Imagine how hard that must feel and how hard that must be. So I kind of get it. I get the psychological kind of mind F that does to you.
Right.
But here we go. I just want you to experience this with me and let me know what you think. Oh, one thing I don't know if in all my talking why you remember Battery was because I say Battery because that's the way to say it in the song. That's Battery, I guess.
Okay.
It was the song Robert picked.
Robert played.
Yeah,
He
played for them
right.
when he was doing his audition.
I
That's why
know.
you remember it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, okay.
So here we go.
All right, let's do it.
could live off this right here.
Oh, I know, right? Wow. It's beautiful. Oh, it's going to be now. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
This is where you look at me and we look at each other. This is where we looked at each other. I swear to God. Like, how good does that? Like, the tone of that guitar. What is that?
What is that?
That's their sound. That's their tone. They really explored it in Justice for All.
Oh man, it's a fun song.
In the passion play, crumbling away. I'm your source of self-destruction. Painted up with fear, sucking darkness clear, leading on your death construction. Taste me, you will see. More is all you need. Dedicated to how I'm killing you.
Oh wow.
Obey your master.
Wow.
Your life burns faster. Obey your master. Master of puppets of pulling your strings. Twisting your mind and smashing your dreams. Blinded by me, you can't see a thing. Just call my name 'cause I'll hear you scream. Master, just call my name 'cause I'll hear you scream. Master. Need to work the way. Never you betray. Life of death becoming clearer. Pain monopoly. Reach for misery. Down your breakfast on a mirror. Taste me, you will see. More is all you need. Dedicated to how I'm killing you.
Yes, baby. How you doing?
Controlling faster. Obey your master. Your life burns faster.
Yeah.
Obey your master. Master of puppets
Love that part.
strings.
Oh.
Twisting your mind and smashing your dreams. Blinded by me,
So unusual when you're used to
just call my
basic
name 'cause I'll
songs.
hear you scream.
Everything about it was so unusual.
Master, just call my name 'cause I'll hear you scream. Master,
Even this chorus part.
I know, babe. I know.
But this is where Metallica really shines, on these middle parts. And the tone of the guitars is just so beautiful.
I do. It's so sweet. What a beautiful way to end the song. Oh, wow. to me. Yes. This is so clean. It's so good.
Master, where's the dreams that I've been after? Master, promised only lies.
Tell me about it.
Laughter, all I hear or see is laughter, laughing at my cries.
Oh, here we go. Wow, man, this is freaking awesome. Oh, sweet part here.
Now they bring it back. It's a complete song.
It's a high five. Oh, it's so good. Wow. What a beautiful song. Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, thank you.
So
I cannot imagine being that young. hearing
imagine
that.
virgin ears
Holy crap.
hearing that for the first
Yo,
time.
you guys didn't like fist pump and slap each other.
We were in class. We were on the down low. Okay, if you ask me what's Metallica's best album, it's the second one, Ride the Lightning.
Okay.
Okay? Master of Puppets was their most famous album, and it's the one that hit platinum first. But the thing is, when I'm talking about a perfect Metallica album, to me, it's the Ride the Lightning.
Okay.
And that's the one that had Fade to Black on. Okay? And to me, that's a perfect album because it had the soul of Kill 'Em All, which is very punky and hard.
Yeah.
And it has the spirit and the makings of what made Master of Puppets, that quality and that magic. But Master of Puppets, you could already hear that they're starting to get ready for their fourth album, which was Justice for All. You could hear it in Master of Puppets. I didn't
Okay.
hear it at the time. To me, when I heard Justice for All, I thought it was a completely different sound from Metallica's first three albums. But when I go back and listen to Master of Puppets, I hear it now. The songs are longer. I actually feel like for Master of Puppets, I could do without that last verse. I felt like the song could have ended at the end without it coming back and doing another verse.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And one of the knocks on Justice for All is the songs are too damn long and too damn repetitive.
Oh, that's horrible. I love her.
And they have an amazing sound on Justice for All, but they could have shortened the songs and made them much better.
Gotcha.
So you can hear that a little bit in Master, where in Ride the Lightning, they were short, they were sweet, they were hard, and the ones that were long didn't feel repetitive at all.
Gotcha.
So it had that good balance. That's why, to me, Justice for All is the best album. Ride the Lightning is the best album, in my opinion. Okay. It's also James' favorite album, for those who don't know.
And that matters a lot.
It does. So, your thoughts on what you just heard? I mean, I'm talking over you. I shouldn't be. Tell me.
It's only putting that
Would
kind of
this have
pressure on me.
what would this have done to you if you were in 6th grade and all you were listening to was the stuff you listened to?
I don't know, but it would have changed. It definitely would have changed everything for me, though. Like real talk. And honestly, when I first heard Metallica's first song, it did a lot for me. It changed my life.
Yeah,
so,
and
I
that was
only imagine.
And that was Orion,
yes.
which was off this album.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that was off this album.
Okay. Yeah, this is beautiful.
But we still should have started with
the
this.
Bass, for me, the bass in this song was like killer.
But do you see what I'm talking about with Lars's drums?
Yeah, and the drums, like, hello. You can't ignore the drums. The drums are, for me, I think the bass and the drums carried this song a lot. For me, and I have virgin ears.
Yeah.
But for me, the bass and the drums carried the song a lot for me.
Cliff was classically trained, and he had an ear for music.
Holy crap.
And it's part of why people think that their sound changed so much in their later years. As we talked about in the other reaction, James had this accident on stage where he caught on fire and his hand was burned to the bone. You could see his bones and stuff. I mean, there was a lot of and of course not dealing with the death of Cliff, not ever coming to terms with that properly. They needed to go through therapy. So I just feel like they changed as people.
Yeah, I believe that's what happened.
And that's fine.
Evolved.
That's fine. They were young. They felt on top of the world. But also, like when we were talking about Iron Maiden, the subject matter.
Yeah.
You know, the subject matter, it was important in these albums. They're talking about war heroes and dying in battle. Yeah. This song here, Master of Puppets, is about cocaine addiction, drug addiction, right? The Master of Puppets, the master is your drugs. Yeah, there's the drugs controlling you. You know what I mean? And you're the puppet. Because when you're addicted,
thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, you don't have control over your own self. So just really deep meaning on top of how good it sounds.
Because but honestly, I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt that at some point. I felt like I wanted to put my fist up. I'm triumphant. I didn't really know what the song was about, but I just feel like Metallica tells a story.
Yeah.
And if you don't really understand the words,
if you go by the context, it's actually beating you to the dirt.
No way.
So if you think of addiction and you're thinking that you're being controlled by your addiction, when it gets heavy and it's just addiction just pounding you into the dirt because you have no control over your own body. That's how I perceive
so why did I feel
that heavy part.
Maybe that's what I felt then.
Because there's that sweet interlude is also like how you're just kind of not even... You're on the edge of reality and life and death, and you're just kind of floating through space. I mean, when you're high off your gorge and stuff, you're not even on this realm anymore, know? Right. And it could represent that. It could represent the people around you who can't help you and watch you helplessly as you kill yourself. It could mean anything. It's all open to interpretation, right? Something I've always loved about Metallica lyrically. You learned this from the Four Horsemen. Lyrically, they're very poetic.
Yes.
And so what they write is as a matter of fact, when we do Justice for All, and at some point we have to do one was taught in English classes because it was so well written and it was such a triumph of lyrical content and meaning, So another thing that I've always loved intellectually about Metallica,
right.
But yeah, so like I said, in the comments, give us your catalyst, that moment that you became a metalhead. I would love to hear it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. This was mine, 6th grade.
Wow.
Dave the Wave.
I can imagine.
If you're out there,
Hi, Dave.
I miss you, buddy. I saw him later in life. We saw him at the gym. But
yeah, you told me that.
We kind of grew apart. It's amazing. We had similar parallels. His mom passed away when he was around the same age as me.
Wow.
And unfortunately, we weren't there for each other because I moved away, and we kind of grew apart. But yeah, respect. Anyway, my partner in crime back in the day, he was the one we would hop on the bus every weekend, and we would go to the mall, and we would go to the music store, and we would look for the baddest cover.
Yeah, okay.
So that's when I got Death, and all I was doing was looking at covers, and we were trying to find the search for the heaviest music available. And that's when I had my Death phase. And if I could say something, thrash and death metal, this is what life is about. A t-shirt and jeans, okay? The new wave of British metal was all about leather and stuff like that. Black metal and death metal is all about the costumes and the makeup and stuff.
Right.
This is me, man. Thrash, old school thrash, jeans, shirt.
Give me some plaids, though.
Let the hair just do what it wants. Grooming to a minimum.
Well, you do have to.
This is me, man. This is just me.
It is just you.
So
and I love
that's what it's all about, man.
What's up, baby? Well, I hope you all enjoyed this reaction video. I had a good time. Thank you so much for sharing this with me. Thank you all for suggesting it. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Comment below. Do not leave without subscribing. And also, please do share our videos as well.
Yeah, and as always,
keep it metal. Metal forever, baby.
Love y'all.
Love you guys.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.
Sir Teufel gave me a
Sir Teufel, for those who don't know, is
Pop-Tarts?
one of my best friends.
Yeah.
I met him playing video games years ago, and he's become he's like family to us now. He is family. And for Christmas, he gifted a wolf.
So we got James Hetfield. We got Kirk Hammett, lead guitarist, right?
Yeah.
And we've got
That's
Lars, who everyone loves to hate. And let me tell you something. Say what you say about Lars, but I love the drums on the Metallica albums. I absolutely love the drums. Up until Injustice for All, just delicious drums.
Although
Can he play it live or not? I don't know. But on the studios, it just makes it for me. Not talking about him personally. That's a whole different issue. Haven't seen the whole Some Kind of Monster yet, so whatever.
And then we have Robert Trujillo.
Yeah, love the man. Did not mean to insult him in the Cliff Burton tribute.
There.
Did not mean. I need everyone to understand this.
Did we hide that reaction?
No, we didn't. Love this man, okay? Suicidal tendencies, love suicidal tendencies. I was trying to build Cliff up by showing a performance of Robert in... Right, I was trying to show Robert pulling teeth, anesthesia pulling teeth, and I'll be honest with you, I don't like the way he plays it live, okay? And I didn't mean it as an insult to Robert. I wanted to actually just show what it looks like being played by the original dude and how it's played correctly, in my opinion, okay? I know he's an excellent bassist. I wasn't talking about that, and I should have made that perfectly clear when I did that reaction. When we did that reaction, that's not what I was trying to do. So that was a mistake on my part. And the problem with videos like this is once you post them, you can't take it back.
Unless you hide it.
Right. We hid the Orion one because the edits were atrocious.
Oh, God, it was horrible.
If you guys want to see Orion again in the future, I'm thinking about bringing it back because I recently saw them do it live, and oof.
Oh my
and
God,
Robert,
no way.
Robert was amazing, okay? So I know the man can play, and I know the man can play his tunes, Cliff's tunes. I get it. But I was trying to make a point at that moment because it was all about Cliff, and I wasn't thinking properly. So apologies. Love the dude, 100%. Nothing bad to say. The guitar is perfect.
I don't know how they do that. I don't know how Metallica, how do you do it, babies? How?
Someone mentioned in the comments that it takes a lot of money, and it's all in how you are tuning the guitars, the type of amps that you're using, the kinds of
pedals that you're using. But how are they able to understand this so early on?
When you're coming up as a band, right?
Help me.
One, you're being influenced by the people that came before you.
Yes.
Okay. So Metallica was influenced by bands like Venom, bands like Diamond Head, the precursors to thrash, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, the new wave of British metal, all the Iron Maidens and Judas Priest. But you're influenced, but you don't want to sound like them. You want to create your own signature sound, right?
Uh-huh.
So you have, as we talked about in the Jimi Hendrix reaction when we were talking about how sound came about and the first rock song, you know, they accidentally damaged the amp, and whether that's true or not, once they started to realize that amplifiers can start to get distortion, they started experimenting with that. Right. Then they started realizing that distortion sounds really cool and really heavy, you know. And then the Who starts using it, and all the British bands and stuff start using it.
I can't wait to continue my metal journey, though.
Yeah, we got to get the Black Sabbath. That's coming soon.
Yes.
But now, once you start to realize that amplifiers can do that, now companies and people start to figure out how can we. How far can we push this, right? Okay. So the Marshall amps and the Marshall stack, you know, Jimi Hendrix, what he kind of made famous was the Marshall stack, where you got, so you're putting Marshalls on top of Marshalls, so you're creating this really big, loud sound and this distortion, right? And you create pedals, which create all the different sound effects. So when you're making a band, you want to sound, you want to make it your own. So you sit there and you experiment and you create this sound, and Metallica just happened to make one of the greatest sounds, greatest tones of guitar in existence, in my opinion. It has this weird, deep bass to it, especially in Justice for All, they really explored it.
It has for me, and this may not make any sense to other people, but it's their guitar sounds. It has a very dirty, grungy, and very in-your-face kind of sound, if that makes any sense.
It makes even less sense when you also realize it's also very clean sounding, because it can sound dirty and clean at the same time. It's like, it almost sounds like it's in a tube. You know what I mean?
Don't make me choke you, because I will. Let me calm down, babe. Thank you. You're speaking to me with me. Like,
okay. Well, I hear what you hear. I mean, I've been trying. I've thought about this sound for a long time.
It has a very grungy, dirty.
Wait till you hear Justice.
Clean.
Wait till you hear Justice for All.
Technical sound.
Even though the songs are too long and too repetitive.
To you, because I like lengthy songs. Okay.
Wait till you hear, like you heard how beautiful the intro of the album.
Oh yeah.
All the beginnings of their albums have this nice, beautiful interlude and intro.
Yes. Okay.
When Justice for All comes in. With that initial interlude and intro, and then you hear Lars's experimental new drum sound and their guitar sound for the first time. It's unreal. We will do that in a later reaction, because you need to experience that.
Yeah. Please click the link below to see my schedule on Twitch and join me live and be a part of all the beautiful fun. Now, before you go, please don't forget to click that follow button. And if you don't want to miss out, be sure to turn your notifications on. But if you ever miss any of my streams, you can always watch them back with ease by clicking here. Thank you for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, and share.